Dragonites, how's everybody doing this weekend? Hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And you're doing something fun, restful, or a combination thereof. We hope that all is right with the world for everybody. So, first of all, we must apologize for not being around there for a minute. We got a little backlogged in some stuff that we had to take care of. And on top of that, hosting the September event for Diamond Painting with Friends 2024 ended up being a little bit more involved than I thought, so my apologies. I learned a lot, but paid a price. You know how that goes. Okay, so forgive us our tardiness for getting back to you guys 3 whole weeks after the fact. Sorry about that. Hopefully we will not have to get involved in that again anytime soon. My next time that I will be hosting will be in January of 2025, which will be Diamond Painting with Friends 2025. In January will be Designer Dragons, which will be any canvas 30 by 30 or larger that has a dragon somewhere on it. Doesn't matter if it's the main focal point, doesn't matter if it's a dragon in the sky, doesn't matter, you know, if somebody's holding a dragon or a dragon's flying around a little, you know, a pen on a desk. As long as there's a dragon somewhere in it and it's a 30 by 30 or larger, qualifies. So, if you have not let me know that you want to be in the dragon event, please let me know. I'm getting my list going. You have until December 20th of this year to get me a picture of your starting canvas. It does not have to be a new start, but I would ask that you don't have more than 50% of it done. So you can have one that you started and didn't get to finish, or you know, whatever it is for you. You don't have to finish during the event either. That's completely fine. You can tackle a great big project, you can tackle a little bitty project, up to you. Also in January, I'm actually sharing the month with Kim over at Cat Hair and Chaos, and she is doing bringing your WIPs into 2025. So, which is great, because it will give all of us a chance to catch up on some that we didn't get to finish this year, and now we're starting a new year. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff ahead, so don't get lost in that, because we want to see you guys around. I have had several of you let me know that you want to be in it. Thank you very much, and thank you really for the positive feedback for the September event. That was my first opportunity to host for Diamond Painting with Friends. So yeah, it was a little bit of, you know, a little bit of nerves that were in there, and yeah, a few other things. But everybody was great, and I really appreciate it. All of you guys were very patient with me, so thank you very much for doing that. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad that so many of you enjoyed it as well. That makes me very happy. Everybody should have been receiving their kits or their gifts, their prizes that they won on the prize wheel. Again, in January, that won't be handled that way. I'm not saying there won't be a prize, but if there is, it won't be till the end of the event. So know that going in. And hopefully, you know, all of you have thought about it, and if you're going to be participating in the January event, you are thinking about, if you don't already have a canvas, what kind of canvas you want to use. I will tell you, if you want to use a budget-friendly canvas, many of the budget-friendly companies, Temu, GBFKE, New Craft Day, are having a lot of good sales on their dragon canvases, because Year of the Dragon is almost over. It's in its 3rd quarter. So they are trying to get their inventory sort of out there for people to purchase that still want to, because they want to bring in all their snake canvases for Year of the Snake, which is starting next year. So scoot on over there and take a good look, because you'll probably find something you like and it'll be a really good price. So please make sure you look. There are still some dragon canvases available at Diamond Art Club. There are some canvases, there's a medium-sized canvas at Dreamer Designs that I love, that I ordered. And if I get it in time and I like it enough, I'm going to probably do that one for the event. But it's one of their medium-sized kits, and so it takes longer to get to you because it drop ships from overseas. So I'm on week 3, so hopefully it'll be here soon. So yes, there's that one. I would also, if you're looking for a premium specifically, you could also try Art and Soul. You could also try Beauty Made. You know, if they have one, they're going to be trying to roll it out now so that they can, you know, get some people to like it and hopefully to purchase it before the end of the year. So that's what's going on with January's event. And again, let me know if you want to join. I'll be happy to put you on the list. And yeah, the September event, well, you know, went very well. I was really happy. All of the prizes have gone out. So I should have either given you your tracking information or you should have received your gift. The 2 exceptions are Melanie Abear and Margie Grice. Yours are the last 2, so yours are going out this week. So I will get you your tracking info as soon as I can. All right. So hopefully you guys are enjoying what's left of the summer weather, or enjoying the nice crispness in the air of fall, or anticipating the holidays, or whatever it is you celebrate. We're hoping that all of you guys get to do something fun with the people you love. So yes. Say hello, Neil. It's up to you now.
Hey guys, like Wendy said, we were really wrapped up with her event and just were not able to get to this. Also, I hope none of you were in Western North Carolina especially, where it really took some flooding.
Yes, oh gosh, anybody who's been touched by Helene, we are so hoping that you're okay and that you're getting the help that you need if you do need help. Yeah, it hit some pretty hard times over there, and we were very disheartened to hear how many people were affected and how many people did not survive. It was very heartbreaking. My oldest son is in the Fort Myers area. They got some bad weather, but they did not have catastrophes from Helene, although Hurricane Milton, which is supposed to hit landfall on Wednesday, is going to go right through where he lives. So yeah, pretty traumatizing for all of us. He's making preparations now to try to get anything he needs and to make arrangements to get the heck out of there if needed, and all of those kinds of things. So that is what's happening. But yeah, we were very distressed to find out how many people were impacted by that terrible storm. Yeah, we're really sorry to hear that. I hope that all of you are going to be okay, and that if you needed assistance, you got it. If you were able to provide it, you provided it, and that you are in process of coming out of what was a really terrible time. You have the little air hockey puck, the little blue one. It's
this?
number 20. Yes. So that is what's going on. I do have your questions. Sugar Ray Crafts, what happened to you? You are our source for multiple questions. And you didn't even leave one this time. You didn't even leave a comment. Girl, what's going on? So we will make do with what we have. If we finish early, yeah, we'll wing it, you know, and pretend we're your local news broadcast, you know. So we do have some. Anna Brewster, her comment says, looks like a beautiful canvas you are working on. Awesome. Thank you, Anna. We are working on Wolf Dreamcatcher from Diamond Art Club. And it is a 42 by 60 centimeter by Sunniva Meister or Mister. And it's a beautiful canvas. Lots of confetti, couple of small areas of
Color
blocking, but you know, it's, yep, there's a lot to it. So, and now we're having to get trickier about how we film because we're both trying to work at the same spot at the same time, which is proving to be a bit of a challenge. So thank you, Anna, and thanks for hanging out and spending some time with us. Okay, so Denise Hudson, hey Denise, she says, loved your WIP and chat as usual. It's always a pleasure and I look forward to them every time. Oh, thank you, Denise. We really appreciate that. I can't remember if this was asked, but did either one of you play a musical instrument? Did either one of you sing in the choir or be in drama class? Take care and have a great week. You want to take it first here?
Sure. My mother and sister were very musical. From the time I was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, for maybe 3 years during the summer, my mother tried to teach me to play piano, and I did okay until it got to trying to learn and play the bass clef. I just could not get it. But then after that period, I learned to play the trumpet. And I wasn't super good at it, but I was okay. My grandfather had a cornet, and that was my first instrument to learn to play on. And I played that for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, somewhere in there. And then my music teacher said, you need a better horn, because you've about gotten to the limit of what you can do with this one. So I guess I was maybe 15, somewhere in there, when I got my first trumpet. And I played in the band in junior high, but I did not play in high school because I was more interested in ROTC than I was in playing in the school band. So that's pretty much my musical background.
So I did not play an instrument. I wasn't that interested really in it. It wasn't that I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in practicing, so it didn't sound like something terrible every time I picked it up. I did take a semester of guitar in high school when I was a sophomore. It was an offered elective, so I did take it. My brother had a guitar. He never played it either, but he had it. So I borrowed it so I could learn to play it. But my dad, who always loved to sing and who had a beautiful baritone voice, loved to sing, encouraged me to sing, and he and I used to sing a lot. When I was 12, my parents used their tax return to purchase a player piano, and this was 1980, and so they purchased one, which was nice because nobody had to play it. It played itself. We just got to sing to it, which was fun. I mean, he had well over a couple of thousand piano rolls. When he passed last December, I did take the piano and currently have it in storage because I need to change out my house and how it's going to look from here on out. But you know, it's one of those things you just can't seem to get the time to do. So I've been paying storage for too long. But we would sing all kinds of different ones, mostly show tunes. I did buy a couple of the piano rolls of 80s music because I was tired of singing just the show tunes all the time. And we had lots of Christmas carols and that kind of thing. I could not take all of the piano rolls, so that was very sad. And I was, disheartened to find out that it was hard to find someplace that would take them even for free, which was really heartbreaking. But yeah, we would always sing together. It was one of his favorite things to do, all the time till his last few weeks. Everything that had two parts, we would each take a part because, yeah, he thought that was fun. So when we would do Annie, Get Your Gun, and we did that song in parts. We did Porgy and Bess, and we were singing Summertime and Old Man Sorrow and a couple others off of there that had a 2-track availability, so we would sing that together. And we got to the point, because I'm an alto and he's a baritone, so as long as I let him lead, we got to the point where we could do some pretty good harmony. So that was a lot of fun. So as a result, because I was going into middle school in the fall of 1980, so we had played with that player piano all summer. So I took choir in 7th grade, and I enjoyed it so much I stayed in it all the way up to my senior year in high school. So that's a nice thing about singing and about taking choir. Your instrument's always with you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to find a case for it. Yeah, you still have to tune it up sometimes, but you don't have to do all the lugging back and forth of a case with an instrument in it. So yeah, I did not take drama, although I wanted to, but because I was in, let me give that one back to you. I was in college prep classes, and that didn't leave much room. I mean, there were very specific electives you could take because they had to cram everything in. I mean, I had PE at 7:20 in the morning, which I hated. I tried so hard to change it out. To please give me any other time of day. Nope. This is what you have. Oh God. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I had 7 classes in a day as it was. But because I was in the tall flag team, which also marched with the band at our school, I just didn't have enough room in my schedule to take it, which was a bummer because I really thought it would be fun. I think I've always wanted to act because it's fun. But as a result, I think of that partially. My oldest son has done a lot of stage work. He really likes it. He's also stand-up comedy, which has been kind of interesting to watch that happen. It's been fun to see him on stage. So yeah, that was the end of that question. But thank you very much for the questions, Denise. We appreciate it. Let's see. Jedi Master. Hey, Donna. Let's see. Thank you for answering those questions personally that I asked last time. I think reincarnation is when you pass over, you are given a chance to stay or go back to Earth. If you could live in a cartoon world, what cartoon world would it be, Neil?
God, I don't know. Maybe I could be Elmer Fudd and do rabbit hunting. I don't know.
I think for me, let's see, if I could be in any cartoon. I think it'd be fun to be one of the Scooby Gang. Solve all those mysteries and ride along in the mystery machine and all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really fun. I used to love to watch that when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite shows of all time. So, yeah, totally enjoyed that one. Do you see any of your old school friends still, Neil?
On occasion. Earlier this year, my high school class had their 55-year school reunion, and I had not been to one since the 30-year reunion, and the attendance was sparse. I guess that's the best way to put it. But I did see a couple of friends that I just had not seen for several years. And I do have some friends that I keep in contact with now and then that I've known since 7th grade, but they didn't go to the same high school that I did because either I or they were on the wrong side of the tracks. I don't know which one it was, but there was railroad tracks in a part of our neighborhood, and it was the dividing line between two different high school districts. If you're on one side of the track, you went to the high school that I did. If you were on the other side, you went to the high school that they went to. But yeah, I had have known them since 7th grade. And unfortunately, one of them passed away last year. Been gone a little better than a year now. But I did get to see him about 2 months, I guess, before he passed. He was in a nursing home, and he was not doing all that good. He had had a heart attack. I don't remember if it was that year or the year before, but yeah, I was glad I got to see him and his older brother before he passed. And my best friend that I've known since second grade. Thank you, Gina.
Shh, gee.
He was living in Dallas, and he retired early this year, and they moved up to Washington State and are living a little northwest, I guess, of Seattle. But yeah, that's about all the people I keep in contact with from my school days.
Yeah, my best friend Lisa, who you guys heard me talk about earlier this year, she passed away this past April, which was, awful. She had pretty severe diabetes and ended up getting Charcot foot and followed by sepsis, and that was the name of that. Shortly after that, she passed away. But yeah, I did not stay in the area that I grew up in, and so she would always let me know. She went to every single reunion, every single time there was one, and checked in on everybody, and and was that kind of a person. I did not. But I always kept in contact with her because, we were besties. So for well over 40 years. And so she always let me know what was happening, who was doing what, and where they were, and that whole thing. And then when I moved to Oregon for 7 years, because I grew up in Northern California, I grew up in the Silicon Valley, but when I came back to California, I went to Southern California, and that was, which is by car 8 to 10 hours away. So yeah, it's not something where you're neighborly or anything like that. So I wasn't in that area, so I really didn't see anybody. And so, yeah, so I have not been to a high school reunion. I'm 100% okay with that. But I miss Lisa every minute of every day, and it's just, so unfair that she's not here, But yeah, I went to several elementary schools because my dad's company, we kind of moved around a little bit. I guess he was upgrading is kind of what he was doing. I didn't see it that way. All I saw was every couple years I had to say goodbye to my friends, and I hated it. And I guess that's, part of why I feel, some sympathy from my stepkids who, had to move every couple years because of deployment issues with their dad. But yeah, I didn't really stay in contact with anybody. I went off doing my own thing. I wasn't all that excited about high school. It was not something I enjoyed. My father went to high school reunions for 60 years. So, it was his kind of thing, but yeah, it wasn't my kind of thing. So, yeah, so I really don't, and I don't do Facebook, so I'm not looking anybody up. So yeah, so I don't really do that. I don't really stay in touch. Okay, Neil. Okay, now also Jedi Master, she asked what size canvas is needed for the Dragon event, and does it need to be a premium canvas? No, it does not. It can be any kind of canvas you want. I'm requesting that you do a 30 by 30 centimeter or larger for the event. Other than that, there aren't any other requirements. And I need a picture of it by December 20th. So I can get everything ready to hit the ground running on January 1st. Okay. Okay, now, Diamond painting with Jack. Hi, Jack. How you doing? She says, since you guys answered the question about reincarnation, would you want to come back as you or someone else, Neil?
I wouldn't mind coming back with me, but I'd want to be associated with a different family. How's that?
Well, I think that speaks volumes, doesn't it? I wouldn't mind coming back as someone else, but I would want to travel with the souls of my same family. Well, I should say with my parents. You know, my brother's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, I would like to keep them around. My grandparents too. They were interesting people, even when I met them and they were already older, you know. But yeah, loved them all. So yes, that would be my feeling about it. Okay, what Marvel characters would you be and why?
I think that I would be Bumblebee.
You want to be a Transformer, do you?
I thought Bumblebee was cool.
I don't know. Is he Marvel? I don't know.
I think so. I think we've discussed this before.
Okay. Well, we might have. Marvel. I think I would like to be Wonder Woman. Is she Marvel? I don't know. Let's pretend she is if she isn't. Yeah, I could be Wonder Woman. I liked the fact that she had cool stuff, and you know, she was beautiful, and I liked those bulletproof bracelet things. Those were awesome. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but Linda Carter will always be my favorite Wonder Woman. No disrespect to Gal Gadot, but I prefer Linda Carter. Yeah. And okay, Neil, what is your favorite horror movie?
Oh gosh. There's a couple of really good ones.
You can say more than one. I won't penalize you for that.
There's always Carrie and Silence of the Lambs and the original Frankenstein.
There's a lot of originals. Which one are you talking about?
The one with Boris Karloff in it.
Oh, the original. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you went way back. Alrighty.
And, you know, you can't forget Dracula with Bela Lugosi. My God.
You're giving away your age, Neil.
That's okay.
Don't mind doing it, huh?
You know, but I didn't see them in the movies. They were on TV when I was growing up.
Yeah. Well, I'm a horror movie aficionado because I like horror movies. So having to pick one is kind of hard. Well, being a huge Stephen King fan, I think I will always have to include it, not just because I love Pennywise, but and I really liked the original airing when it was a miniseries more than I liked it as 2 feature-length movies. I like Tim Curry. I will always like Tim Curry, bless his heart. Yeah, I mean, he was something else. Well, still is something else. But I was very saddened when he had a stroke. So
I think he's in a wheelchair nowadays.
yeah, he is. So, but I liked him very much. I liked him in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which my ex and I used to watch all the time when we were kids. We would go at midnight to the movie theater and watch him throw toast and toilet paper and everything else that went along with it. Which, if you don't know what that means, you know, ask somebody who went. It was a very, very much an audience participation parody when it came to those of us that used to go at night. And so, yeah, I had to do some quick talking for my parents to let me out that time of night. But anyway, but yeah, he was good as Frankenfurter. And he was just as good as Pennywise. The only thing, you know, I mean, the sad thing is the child actor that played the Bill Denbrough as a child, the one that had the stutter, committed suicide in his early 20s, which, you know, always bums me out when I think about it. It's hard not to think about that when you see or think about, you know, the show. I have both versions, both the Skarsgård version and the Tim Curry version of it on DVD. So, yeah, I can watch either one when I want to. It's probably one of my favorites. I also liked, oh gosh, I liked so many. My cousin and I, when we were kids, we spent the night at our grandparents. And they weren't paying attention. They went to bed early, and you know, my parents had said we weren't allowed to watch, you know, some of the more questionable things on TV. So we just waited till our grandparents went to bed, and then we watched Night of the Living Dead. Both of us with just our eyes sticking out of our blankets.
Oh, there's another one that has to be included. That's The Exorcist.
Yeah, I got in trouble for watching that one when I wasn't supposed to too. Yeah, so I think Night of the Living Dead was a classic horror film that gets left out often, but it shouldn't. It should get its due, because it was you know, full creep factor and everything else. I liked a lot of the, not a lot. I liked a few of the horror movie serials, like Pinhead, you know, the Hellraiser ones. I prefer the ones that have a plot. I will always be a fan of The Stand. I loved The Stand. I thought that had a lot of interesting things, had a lot of little subplots going, which I found very entertaining. And again, you know, Stephen King. I liked Pet Sematary. Yeah, there are several that I particularly like. I was never a big fan of the Chucky movies. To me, that wasn't a thing. I don't really like it when they center on a child's plaything, because that's, you know, rubs me the wrong way. But you know, the other parts though, I like the other types of movies for sure. And right now I'm doing Horror Crushes, which is with Mushy over at Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting. This month she's doing Horror Crushes, so whoever your horror crush would be. Well, of course I'm doing Pennywise. I'm doing Bloodstain by Raven Diamond Art, because yes, he would be my crush. And boy, she's driving us right off the deep end with some of her challenges. Oh my gosh, we have to do challenges on this canvas. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but if you haven't, you know, gone over to her channel, you should check her out. She's pretty interesting. Again, Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen some really, what I would call interesting ones. And the thing about horror movies is, as much as I appreciate the classics, you know, Bela Lugosi and company, when movies went, you know, all color and special effects got better and better, wow, love it. I really, probably one of my favorites of all of them, which is saying something, because I like a good horror movie. I don't like just, you know, superfluous gore, because, you know, really, is that all you can do is dump 10 gallons of blood? Come on, move on. It was okay in The Shining, it served a purpose. but in reality, it's not my thing. Just pour buckets of blood, forget it. But I really liked, what was it called, Silver Bullet? I think it was called Silver Bullet. The kid is in a wheelchair, and he finds out there's a werewolf in town. Then he finds out who it is. I won't tell you here in case you haven't seen it, but if you get a chance, you should see it, because, yeah, it's a worthwhile watch. But I loved that one. That was in my top 3 for a long time. So, yep, I like a good horror movie. It's hard to not like a good horror movie. So, thank you, Jack, for the questions. She says, tell Neil that she did the truck that you're doing now from Make Market last year, and it turned out beautifully.
Yeah. I'm almost done with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, 4 or 5 more inches to go. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, you are coming right along with that. It's looking good, too. And we're out of questions.
We're out of questions.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So, do we do our own Q&A and ask each other questions? Do we do trivia? What do we do?
I don't know.
Well, pick something, because, you know, be boring. It's supposed to be a whip and chat, not a whip and silence.
Well, I could tell war stories.
No, you could not do that. That would not be fun. That's why you need to have your own channel. See? I keep telling him, you guys, that he should have his own diamond painting channel so he could talk about guy stuff when he's doing that. But he keeps telling me he doesn't want to, but I think he should. Let us know in the comment section. Do you guys think he should? Because I think he totally should. Okay. But be that as it may, now that we're questionless, questions or trivia? Which do you want to do?
Questions, I guess.
All right. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
No, you go start.
Okay. What is your first, since we were talking about horror movies, what is your first memory of being scared, and what was the cause of it?
Oh, gosh.
Now, don't you wish you'd pick trivia?
Well, growing up, I was very shy. And I remember I was at my grandfather's house, and this was a pretty big old house. It had, I guess you could call it a formal dining room. And you go through that and get to the living room. I mean, it even had in the front entryway, it was just lined with bookcases. It was a pretty interesting old house.
Sounds like it.
But anyway, I was about 4, I guess, and I had been in the kitchen, and I was coming out through the dining room, headed towards the living room, and my mother was in the living room along with my grandfather and grandmother and 2 other ladies that were around my grandparents' age. And I saw them, and I kind of knew them but didn't know them, you know. And so
you had seen them, but you didn't really know them.
Well, I should have known them, but I don't know.
In your own world.
Yeah, you know, and I was 4 or so.
Yeah.
And so I hung back in the dining room area, and I guess finally my mother noticed me and told me, you know, come on in, you don't have to be afraid. You know who this is. This is, you know, your Aunt Thelma and Aunt Ann. So I finally overcame my anxiety and went out there. But I think that's the, you know, I wasn't really scared. I was just, you know, didn't know who somebody was.
Yeah. Stranger danger. I think that's, so you're supposed to have that at certain ages. So, your turn to ask a question. PG or better, by the way.
Oh, that's weird. Come on, get over here where you belong, Drill. During our holidays, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, you always want to make sure that we have candied yams. That's one of your favorite dishes during that time. How did that end up being such a favorite of yours?
That's an interesting question. I think probably, you know, Thanksgiving feasting type food can be uninteresting to kids for, you know, quite a while till you're old enough to really appreciate what you're getting to eat. I mean, turkey to a child's not that interesting, doesn't taste that great, and, you know, the vegetables aren't that great. I mean, they'll eat the mashed potatoes generally, but the rest of it, you know, takes a little doing to get them interested. I think the first food that I had at Thanksgiving that I liked was candied yams. And, you know, my family, we don't puree them or, you know, chop them up. No. Pour them right out of wherever you get them from, or wash them off, cut them up into chunks, and then put it in there with the butter and the brown sugar and the marshmallows. Oh, so good. Anyway, my mother used to, you know, break a bite off of one, and, you know, she convinced me to try it. I didn't want to because it looked weird. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 3. And so I did finally, though. And I remember the sensation of going, oh, that was yummy, because it's, you know, it's a sweet thing to eat. And so, and we always, every year, we had them. And so I found out that I really liked them. And then when I got older, I realized, oh my gosh, those are actually a vegetable. That was sneaky of them. But it still tastes good, and I still like it. So yeah, and I don't like it, you know, chewed up like applesauce. You know, which, you know, I noticed that as I grew up that a lot of families eat it that way.
Yeah, whipped.
And I always think, what a bummer, because it's so much better to have those nice big old chunks. You can just put your fork in the piece and then roll it around in the sauce just a little bit more, all that good sugary goodness. So I think that was probably why that was the first thing. And I wasn't happy because she was making me eat something from Thanksgiving, and I didn't want to. So, yeah. It's probably why I'm also a bit of a rebel now in my old age. Well, in my young age, too. So, but yep, that was the story. That was the first Thanksgiving food that I had to eat. And I had to... was forced to try, and not everything I was forced to try at any given time always turned out that way. My grandfather made me eat calamari, and told me what it was first, which was probably the mistake. And oh man, I can't be around calamari to this day. Blech. No, thank you very much. So, yeah, it was a whole thing.
Boy, and a squid gave its life.
Yeah, well, I would have said, run, little squid, if it was up to me. No, gross. So, yeah, that was the story. What is the story behind the dressing in your family? Because your mother always referred to it as the famous stuffing.
Well, that was my grandmother's recipe. And it's all I ever knew growing up, as far as dressing went.
Well, how is it different from other stuffing?
Well, you know, it's, you know how I make it. It's very moist. A lot of people's, when they make dressing, it's pretty dry.
Mm-hmm.
But this dressing is very moist. When I was, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, I guess. Well, my mother was hosting Thanksgiving, having my grandfather over and my aunts. By that time, my grandmother had passed. She passed when I was 7. And so the night before Thanksgiving, my mother was putting the dressing together, and it was no joke. It was from scratch, from the get-go. We didn't use, you know, Mrs. Covetton's or anything like that. I think we used 4 or 5 loaves of bread that had been left out to kind of dry, and chopped up. I think the recipe called for 12 stalks of celery, but they were supposed to be the outside pieces of the celery, so they were, you know, the largest you could get, and you know, like an onion and a half, and she cooked the broth up to put in the dressing when you mixed it all up, and you know, all the sage and thyme and salt and pepper and all that stuff. And I think we started this at like 9 at night and did not finish getting it all put together until around midnight.
Wow. That's serious dressing. I mean, wouldn't stovetop just been easier? Good God. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, stovetop is wannabe dressing.
But you always say that about it too. I think it's funny. Well, I will say though, because I'm not a stuffing person. I would rather eat mashed potatoes and gravy, and you can have the stuffing. But I will say that you do make amazing stuffing. It's true.
Thank you.
Yes. Your turn.
Okay. Who taught you to drive, and how long did it take you practicing before you got your license?
Oh boy, there's a question. Well, mostly my dad took me out and tried really hard to overthink everything in teaching me to drive. But he always took me in my mother's car, so, you know, figure that one out. I don't even know if he told her that's what he was doing, but that's what he did. She had a Datsun 810 wagon, which was a stick shift. So I had to learn on a stick shift, which I'm actually glad about, because as much as a pain in the behind as it is to drive a stick shift, if you can drive a stick shift, you can drive anything.
That's true.
If you learn in an automatic, yeah, good luck to you. Yeah, my dad took me out. You know, when I was growing up, you couldn't wait to get your license. I mean, when you were 15 and a half, you didn't walk to the DMV to get your learner's permit. And you were not 16 for a week and you were out there taking your driving test. I mean, that's the thing. I know that they don't do that now, but that's what we did then, because that meant freedom. So I got my learner's permit when I was 15 and a half, which was in June. And so from June to probably October, my dad was 100% instructing me on driving. And so then by October, he said, "You're ready." I said, "Dad, I don't think I'm ready. Like, what happens if you're ready?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't think I'm ready." Well, I took my driving test because my birthday was in December. So on the 19th. So around the 21st of December, my dad goes, "Well, don't you want to wait till New Year's?" I said, "No, I want somebody to be in a good mood because it's near Christmas." I was just petrified. And I was driving, oh God, I was driving my grandfather's LTD, and oh, that car was crap. I got the instructor, which is this big burly football looking dude with those big deep voice. And I went to, I was in the turn lane. He wanted me to make a left turn, and I had my turn signal on. And I go to, the light turns green, and I go to ease out, and the car died because it had, carburetor issues. And it just, you'd be driving along, it'd just die. And you'd have to hurry up and put it into neutral, which was on the steering column, and restart it before you slowed down too much where somebody honked at you. It's just... But I was so mad because I went to turn. He goes, "Well, go. You need to go." I said, "The car died and I'm putting it in neutral," and had my foot on the gas. And he goes, "No, it didn't. You just need to go," because he had the air on and you could still hear the air compressor, but the car was dead. And I just looked at him, rolled my eyes, and then I cranked it up and it started. So I put it in gear and I got through the light before it changed. I didn't realize. I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, I know. But being irritated by him actually was a good thing, because that took my feel right away, because I was so mad. I was just like, dude, if I tell you the car died, don't argue. Like, really, you don't think I can tell if my car's dead or not? If that were true, then I probably shouldn't be driving. But I did not bother to explain life to him in a vehicle. I just did what he wanted to do, and I followed all of his thing. I did my parallel parking. I did all of that. And then I did all the stuff he asked me to do. Had to get on the freeway. Oh, I hated that. I still don't like getting on the freeway. So then we get back to the Department of Motor Vehicles. He tells me which one to park in. So I park in it. And he's like, "Okay, turn off the engine." So I turned it off. And I just waited and waited. It took him forever to tally up the test. I felt like, do you need a calculator? Because it's just like, I'm sitting here with this dude, and I'm like, I just want to get away from this guy. And I want to know how I did. And he just was prolonging everything. And then finally, my dad came out because he saw us pull in, and then nothing happened. So he finally came out from indoors where he had, it used to be, do you remember when every building you went into had a coffee machine? You could just put your money in and get a cup of coffee. It was terrible, but, it was coffee. Well, my dad had, of course, I don't know, he was probably on his second or third. I think he was nervous, too. And then he looked at me, like, with his eyebrows raised, and I shrugged because I didn't know yet. And then the guy finally goes, "You passed." I was like, "Okay, thank you," because I just wanted him to leave. He finally got out of my car. So I went up and I hugged my dad, and he hugged me. I'm like, I passed. I think I passed with 85% or something like that. he actually, and I didn't think that was fair either. He actually marked me down because the car died, as if I had anything to do with it. And so I thought that was bad. He should have given me extra credit because I managed to get it in gear and into neutral, put it in gear, get it started, and go before the light changed. But he didn't give me extra credit. He docked me instead, but that's okay. 85% was enough to pass. So I was 16 and 2 days old. Yeah, so, but yeah, it was mostly my dad. My mother tried, but I was just like, okay, she just made me nervous. She didn't mean to, but she did, because she'd go, eep, eep, watch out. And then you think, oh my God, she sees something I don't. And then you'd be slamming on the brakes, and she was like, that guy was going really fast coming at us. I'm like, he was in the other lane going the other way. Like, why are you eeping? Yeah, so it was a whole thing. But, yeah, and then once I got my license, man, I never looked back, because that very afternoon, we went at like 11 o'clock in the morning, because you used to have to schedule it, because the driver took, ever so many a day. So that afternoon, I drove my car around to all my friends' houses, and they're like, oh my God, no way. I'm like, way, total way. So I showed them my paper copy, because that's what you got, and until yours came in the mail. And yeah, just drove around till late at night. And every time we stopped somewhere, I had to call my parents and check in, because no cell phones, that wasn't a thing. I was just like, oh, to call them, they'd say, okay. When I called them about 9:30, they're like, okay, you need to come home now. Go drop everybody off and come home. So I did, but yeah, it was a great day. And I knew they were proud of me, but I also knew they were terrified, because, it's hard. And I thought, that's the silliest thing I ever heard of. But then once I had kids that were learning to drive, I went, oh, okay, now I understand. When your kids are young and, they don't leave the house or go anywhere, it's like, exactly where they are and who they're with. But when your kids start driving, it's a wing and a prayer. You just have to hope you've done a good enough job by then that they're not going to do something stupid or get killed in the car or drink at a party and then try to drive, any of that. I mean, the stakes get much, much worse. And so now that I've had 3 kids of my own, I can go, oh, I totally get it. And I mean, I had the benefit that my kids did have cell phones, but not all kids did then. None of us did. So that was a whole thing. So yeah, that was the story. Who taught you to drive?
My mother. She actually had me start driving when I was 15-ish, I guess, and we were in Hawaii. We went over there for 6 months. I went to high school, and she went to college. And we were on Oahu, and after you're there a couple of months, you kind of get cabin fever.
Oh.
Because, you've been around the island a couple of times, and you've pretty much seen everything. And, yeah. So we'd go out nearly every weekend and drive around the island. And we'd get out of Honolulu and on the, I guess you'd call it a country road, I don't know, that goes around the island. And she'd let me drive.
Oh, wow.
She had bought, now this was 65, I guess, yeah. And she bought this, I don't remember what make the car was, but it was a 1953 something, and it was a tank. I mean, my God. But yeah, then we got back to California, and I turned 16 and started learning to drive again, except that now the car that I was learning to drive was a stick shift, and boy was I frustrated.
The first one was an automatic?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so I didn't actually get my license until I was 17.
Well, when did you get a car?
My sister got married shortly after I turned 17, and my mother bought my sister's new husband's old car, and it was a 1954 Plymouth wagon, another tank.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man.
And I had that for almost all the rest of high school, but I ended up driving it too fast on the freeway, and it just wouldn't take it. The engine started smoking and started having transmission trouble.
Oh, God.
So,
Grown.
yeah. So we have done our hour now.
We sure have. So, thank you everybody for joining us. See what happens when you don't leave questions, and we have to amuse ourselves, you see. You get caught up in our stories of, driving as teenagers, which for us has been a while ago. So, leave questions for us down in the comment section if you have a minute and you think of one that you'd like to ask. We're basically an open book. Otherwise, we hope that everybody has a really good week and that, all good stuff is happening for you now that we're transitioning to a new season, and it's going to start being nice and chilly outside pretty soon. Hopefully sooner than later here, because I'm really tired of being in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, we have a heat warning through like Tuesday.
Yeah, excessive heat warning. It's unbelievable. So, we hope all of you are going to be a little cooler. And for everybody that's going to have to face, Hurricane Milton, we are crossing our fingers. We're saying extra prayers for you till you will be safe and protected and get through it unscathed. Go to higher ground. If they tell you to evacuate, please just go. Please just go. Don't try to ride it out. Really, go for higher ground. Go visit somebody in Kentucky or Tennessee. Just get out. Go do something else. Please be safe. Have a great week. Hope everything goes your way. Anything you'd like to say, dear?
Thanks for stopping by. I hope we entertained you for a little while. And, enjoy your diamond painting. We find it relaxing and engaging.
Yeah. It's nice if you are listening and, you have a spouse that diamond paints, but you haven't tried it, give it a try. Sit down with them and, try a small little diamond painting. Believe me, ask them. They'll have one, I promise. And, just give it a shot. If nothing else, you'll be in the same place at the same time, doing something together yet separately. Just see, because you might find out that, there's something to all this whole diamond painting thing. So, yeah, give it a run. You never know. You might find out, hey, this is great. Or you might find out, okay, I have no idea where you get this from, but no. But at least you will have tried it before you said anything. So, yeah, give it a shot. Because, we do. We enjoy it. And it makes talking about hard stuff a little easier when you both have something to focus on that's not each other while you're talking about stuff. So give it a shot. And Melanie and Margie, I will get you your tracking information as soon as I get it in the mail. I appreciate your patience. It's been a couple of tough weeks, and four, kind of, involved weeks while we were going through the event. So, but we're finished with that now. And again, the Designer Dragon event is going to be in January. I'm actually hosting twice next year. The November event is going to be Bella Luna, but it's going to be having a new name change, I think, because we're going to be adding wolves to it. Because, wolves and moons kind of go together. So, yeah, be thinking about, if you have a wolf canvas or something with a big moon on it, which should give you lots of leeway, because a lot of canvases have moons. You don't really realize it till because you're looking at it for some other factor, and then you go, oh my gosh, look, there's a little moon up there. Yes, exactly. So that's coming up November of next year. Stay tuned to Diamond Painting with Friends 2024 for the Sugar Skulls event, which is going on right now, being hosted by Yvonne at Shenanigans with the Bergs. She's doing Sugar Skulls / Halloween. There's still time to get in on that, so if you want to do that, just contact Yvonne, let her know to put you on the list. And then this November is Diamond Painting with Jack, and she's going to be doing her Hello Kitty event. So, which I believe is Hello Kitty or any type of feline. So, if Hello Kitty is not your thing, but you have a big canvas of a big old lion or something, that's a good time to do it. So contact Jack over at Diamond Painting with Jack and just let her know you'd like to be in her November event. Also, if you have leftover kits that come with your canvases, the little green trays and the little pens, so it seems, her name is April, she is making diamond painting pens. So with a combination of clay and resin, I think, is what she's using. So she is asking if anybody wants to get rid of their kits to please send them to her, because she uses, I believe, some of the tips that are in the pens. So if you would like to have some place to send those, please email her at April Overton, Overton 66, like Route 66 at gmail.com, and she will give you an address where she would like them to be sent to her. And I will also put it in the description box, so it'll be in there with my email and my Instagram. So we hope everybody has a wonderful few hours left of their weekend and a great start to your week, because time is just marching on, you guys. And remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, everybody, it's been great to have you here, Dragonites, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.